Hey everyone, I'm here with my dad, and we're going to try FSD in New York City. So let's see how it does. We're going to the Macy's on 34th Street. We're here in the Meatpacking District by Tesla. Thanks so much to them for giving me this car for a 48-hour demo drive. Let's go. We push the start button, Dad?
Yeah, of course. There we go. FSD 13.2.9.
Right, so right away, there's a car parked right in front of us, kind of sticking out into the street.
Yeah.
And it went around that nicely. That's a very urban situation. You tend not to see that as much in suburban areas. Now we've got to make a left turn onto 10th Avenue here.
Driving in New York is significantly different than driving in California. So I'm curious to see how it's going to handle with the different behavior of drivers here compared to California.
So we got a flashing yellow light there. It was smart enough to continue.
Yeah.
Pretty smooth left turn there. Now we need to turn left onto Little West 12th Street. Very nice. Very confident.
Yeah.
Like it's been driving here all its life. We got some pedestrians crossing. And here's an interesting street with planters on either side, so it's got to go right in between them. No problem with that. Got somebody in the road. Pedestrians all over the place here.
Yeah, a lot of pedestrians in New York. Don't see much in California.
We're making a left turn onto 9th Avenue. Looks like we got a Lucid store here with some demo drive Lucids.
So the cab in front of us has stopped. Our car is kind of impatient, wants to try to squeeze, but it's not going to be able to squeeze. It's kind of tight, but it might go behind this.
Yeah, now that this car's moving, I think it'll hopefully try and go behind him.
The Chrysler, right?
The Escalade.
Yeah. So the guy behind us is honking, thinking like, why aren't you guys
give it a little accelerator push.
Okay, there you go. It's squeezing in this tight, really tight situation. Very well done. Wow. Perfect. Now it's more like New York driver.
Yeah, there's a mail truck behind us honking at us. He's got some mail to deliver. He doesn't have time to wait.
Yeah.
So that's really the trick, not just doing it safely, but also keeping the flow of traffic moving. If there's some cars pulling over and stopped, you don't want that to stop you. You want to be able to get around it, and you want to do it quickly. So those are the things you don't see as much in California that seem to be happening more driving here in Manhattan.
And I think making those decisions based on like a human being would make those decisions is important, you know. That way you're not feeling, oh, I should just take over and drive myself because it didn't go around that car or whatever, you know. But it did, so there was no need for us to take over.
All right, next we're going to be making a left turn onto 8th Avenue.
Some cones. Double yellow. Okay, perfect navigation.
Going around those cones very well, offsetting, even going over the double yellow just a bit. So here's 8th Avenue. We're going to make a left here. There's a bike lane.
This is one way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the light's green, but somebody's crossing the street,
Yeah.
which is very common here in Manhattan.
Oh wow, it saw the bicycle guy.
There was a cyclist.
Yeah.
Again, people are honking.
That's a taxi driver. They honk on everything.
But yeah, not really sure what the alternative was there. Maybe people just assume, I'll go and the cyclist will stop. Now we've got to make a right onto 18th Street in 0.2 miles. We're in the far left lane. We need to get into the right lane to do that. So let's see if it's able to make the lane changes and get over there.
Oh, comfortably. I have no doubts about its lane change capabilities. Even though this is New York City and pretty tight traffic, the confidence is amazing. Watch this.
All right, we got the car on the left pulling over. We've got our first lane
Nice.
change. Nicely
Nice.
done.
One more coming.
Got our
Nice.
second lane change.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
It's safe now.
And here's 18th Street. We're going to make a right. We got pedestrians.
We got COVID era restaurants sticking out into the streets.
People trying to park.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff happening.
Cyclist.
Not surprised at all. Okay. What's the hesitation there?
The car was backing in and out on the right. Yeah, that seems to really be the major thing for Manhattan, is not hesitating with everything that's going on. You want to make sure, obviously, you stop and don't hit the cyclist, but you also want to make sure that you keep moving quickly as much as it's possible.
This is completely different driving. There's traffic rules, and then there is New York, where it might be green, that doesn't mean you can go.
Right. Moving along now, we got a van stopped on the left side. We're crawling along, and next we're going to make a left turn on the Avenue of the Americas. Now see, that was pretty smart. This car looks like it's stopping. It put on its hazards,
Yeah,
and the Tesla smartly went around it.
very smart.
I would have thought it maybe would have gotten stuck behind something like that, but even before I realized that car was pulling over, it realized it.
Very smart. I honestly did not realize. I thought it was just showing a blinker until I got closer, and then realized it was actually waiting for someone, and he had to kind of stay there. And there's a line of cars behind us, obviously, trusting that the decision FSD is making is a good one, because everybody else is following that decision path.
Mm-hmm. Alright, the light's green, it's clear to go.
A lot of construction in the city, so a lot of construction blocks that
Yeah.
it has to navigate around. Here's
All
one.
over the place. Yep, here's one construction blockade. We got some workers here. And it goes around it smoothly. There's Avenue of the Americas up ahead. We're going to make a left turn here, along with these other cars. Looks like the light's green, but there are a ton of pedestrians in the crosswalk here.
Mhm.
It's going to be challenging to find an
Yeah.
opportunity to make the left here.
Yeah, bicycles, cars, all kind of stuff. It's waiting for the right opportunity. It's clear, no pedestrians.
Yep,
Crossing, perfect.
did it. Makes it look easy.
For sure.
And now we're going to be continuing up 6th Avenue for a while, making a left on 35th Street. And then we'll be pretty close to our destination, I think.
We're making a left on 35th Street?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Really smooth cruising here.
Yeah, absolutely. Speed limits not relevant here. You go along with the traffic.
Right. Speed limit's about 25, so you're never really going that fast. Waymo just announced today too that they're going to start bringing in, or they've applied for a permit to bring in cars with safety drivers.
With safety drivers?
Yeah, with safety drivers at first. For testing.
In Manhattan?
In New York City, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a bold move.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about time for them. It's kind of weird coming here, honestly, and not seeing any self-driving cars.
But, they could do Chicago, they could do Dallas, they could do Miami. So many other big cities that they haven't deployed to. New York will get a lot of publicity for sure.
New York is where they can learn a lot.
But isn't New York more like an edge case?
I mean, there's a lot of dense urban environments around the world that are like New York.
That's true. That's true. Tokyo is similar. Green light.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable way to get around New York. You just feel like you're kind of floating on a cloud.
In hurry mode right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There isn't much room for it to hurry, though.
True. Nice.
Nicely done. Finding a way to clear the intersection.
That's the hurry mode.
And right in time for us to make a left on 35th Street and a few blocks up ahead. We're here on 32nd Street now.
Oh, okay. We're Broadway and 6th. This is as crowded as it can get. This is second most crowded intersection after Times Square.
Yeah, and you can see how many pedestrians the car's keeping track of on the screen.
Yeah. Each and every one of them.
Here the light's green, but there's still pedestrians crossing. The car was smart enough to wait for them, of course.
That's huge. That it recognizes that even though the light is green, it has to make sure that everything's safe to proceed.
Yeah. Of course. You can't really trust a green light in this city at all.
Oh wow, look at that. Did you see how it made sure it could go on the other side of the intersection?
Yeah. It made
before
sure not
the-
to block the intersection.
Yeah.
That's very important too.
Yeah. I don't get to see those situations in LA because we don't have. Wow, that was a two-wheeler. You noticed that?
Yeah, I think that was a little
Motorcycle.
bit maybe too harsh. I think
No, he was so close to us. The car thought it was.
well, I think people do things like that. It has to be smart enough not to brake, but I think it was being kind of cautious of that cyclist or motorcyclist.
Yeah.
But probably not what a human would have done there. Probably wasn't necessary. But it is, a good demonstration of how it's aware of things that we can't even see because they're happening behind us.
So true. So true. Well, we're here at Macy's, the famous Macy's in New York City, and did a pretty good job from the meatpacking district to Macy's, with all kind of traffic challenges from construction to pedestrians to, car deciding to stop in the middle of the road, that kind of stuff. And so I think I would give it an A.
Yeah, maybe an A- for some of the hesitation, but overall pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think the next few models will probably improve on dense urban environments like this even more.
Mm-hmm. So true.
But here's 35th Street. We're supposed to make a left here. Let's see if it can do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can. It's smart enough.
It's tough. There's a bike lane here. There's a lot of cyclists. There's pedestrians.
It's
I'd be, I'd be kind of nervous myself making this left turn. Look at this cab driver pulling over into the bike lane. This is where self-driving cars can probably improve things a lot. This is how accidents happen, right? A cab pulls into the bike lane. Now the bike has to go around into the street. Then someone doesn't see the bike.
Yep.
With self-driving cars, you can just
Left
program
turn
them.
with a zillion people crossing the road.
You can just program them to never do that. Yeah, there are a lot of people crossing the road here on the left. I don't know how much the camera could see it, but
And the bike lane, don't forget that.
yeah. More cyclists coming.
So waiting for the cyclists. Very nicely
Wow,
done.
impressive.
Yeah.
More pedestrians up ahead.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow, it saw that.
I didn't even see that guy.
Yeah.
I might have, driven forward and hit him if I was driving.
Yeah, that idiot should have seen it. That was risky on the bicycle guy's move. I mean, why do you get in front of the car when you know it's making a left turn?
Well, he probably saw we weren't moving. This stuff is
But
all...
the car was actually moving.
I mean,
car brake.
This is all pretty common stuff for the city, So you can't really complain about it, you just need to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here at our
behind that taxi, Omar.
And now we're here at our
Wow.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
sir.
Again, I didn't see that guy.
Yeah, I saw that guy, but I'm like impressed as where it's parking right now.
Yep.
Look at that.
And it's pulling over. Here we are.
Wonderful.
From parking spot to parking spot, no takeovers. We did have an accelerator press for that car we had to go around. But overall, pretty good. I'm impressed. We'll have more videos for you soon.
All right.